Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious back in the bunker. Purple State Party. You know what we're repping here, man. United States of America, the center, common sense, and party poppers. Party poppers. Number one platform in my platform. Yeah, party poppers for everyone. I'll put a party popper in every garage. Yeah. So we'll just start this off. Title of today's show is Aloha Brandon. Just kind of ran across somebody from Hawaii, Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know. I had liked her in the Democratic primary. I mean, I probably wasn't going to vote for her, but I mean, I thought out of all of those idiots, she was the one who seemed to have the most common sense, and as we'll see, kind of true. So anyhow, of course, this week we celebrated Thanksgiving. Depending on how you look at it, Thanksgiving was a good thing or a bad thing, I guess. It's just a good time to, be thankful for your family and everything. Like, where it all comes from, the lore behind it and all that, that's not as important as remembering what we have to be thankful for. Because right now we have a lot of things to not be thankful for, unfortunately, Seems like the world's a mess. Seems like our country is really in tatters right now, and a lot of it has to do with this dude, Brandon, aka Biden. They're willing to sacrifice liberty just to get votes. They don't mind. I mean, they don't care. We saw that with the Facebook bans and things like that. They don't really care. They're not about this freedom that they talk about. These young radicals, they buy into censorship, I guess. I don't know. From what I'm hearing, they're not too happy with either side, the young people. Here's a rip-off. I mean, at least when I steal from the Bee, I'm just featuring them. I don't try to make it my own in any way, shape, or form. Oh. White House says everyone can save on Thanksgiving by skipping on it, since there's nothing to be thankful for. Let's see, here's the original. Man, this mask is really bugging me today. Alright, there we go. That's a little bit better. It doesn't feel like it's slipping down quite as much. We all happy? Alright. This was just an interesting one because, of course, we're still dealing with the Omicron variant. I don't know. I mean, blah, blah, blah. I mean, fuck, if it's going to get you, it's going to get you. You could sweat on each other for 48 minutes, breathe in each other's faces, and all handle the same ball, but you better wear a mask on the bench, and you can't meet the opposing team at half court after the game to shake hands. Science. Yeah, that's how the approach has been. We've seen it with our own leaders who tell us that we should wear masks indoors, and then they go indoors to parties, and, they don't wear a mask. I mean, let's go, Brandon. The same leftists who insist they'll take care of the planet run cities that look like this. It's true. I mean, give credit where credit's due. I mean, they are large cities that the Democrats control, like LA and New York, but they have made an absolute dog's breakfast of it. So, I don't know what else to say. So here's Tulsi. She strikes me as a free-thinking, independent, extremely beautiful woman. I don't know what she's doing on the Democrat side. It's probably the same sort of things that I think about, some of the things that I support that maybe aren't Republican, I guess. I don't know. That's why I find myself in the middle, y'all, But, she was talking about the Aubrey killers, and, they went down for murder. And, it kind of shows that this country is not just made up 100% of racists, like the left wants you to. But the fact that she quoted Dr. Martin Luther King, that's what really gets me. That God's children should be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. That's the critical race theory that I want to hear about, that I think should be taught in schools. Unity, being together, accepting each other because of our differences. Or despite of our differences? I don't really know. Oof. Again, Tulsi here. The jury got it right, finding Rittenhouse not guilty on all charges. And she brings up a very interesting point about the whole thing, that there never really should have been any charges. There was video evidence. There were witnesses. There was plenty of information that showed that Kyle Rittenhouse, was under attack when he fired. It's, and to call these people protesters or civil rights activists, like some people are trying to do, not entirely correct. These were people who had some pretty violent things in their criminal past, pretty awful human beings. I don't think they were there out of benevolence. I think they were there to chuck rocks and light things on fire. And one of them was using the N-word and was lighting fires and was seen destroying property. So these weren't protesters. This was self-defense. And, if we had somebody like Tulsi in the White House right now, we'd have our first female president ever. We could be proud of this lady. She serves in the reserves, man. I mean, from 2013 to 2021, she was a representative from Hawaii. She was the first Hindu, the first Samoan American in Congress. And we don't hear about her. And she got, I think, shit hammered in the primaries. I think the Democrats didn't want a moderate. They wanted a radical. And they they needed somebody moldable. And, well, they found somebody moldable, because Joe can't have a thought on his own. Right here, she's just again talking about how both juries got it right. And what does that say about America? I think it says positive things. Okay? We didn't convict Kyle because of politics, and we didn't let Aubrey's killers off because I guess it wasn't self-defense. I didn't involve myself too much in that trial. I saw the video and everything, but I kind of thought the three guys were in a lot of trouble to begin with. Here she's talking about the Build Back Better plan. And she spells it out right there. The provisions in the bill are so vague that it's going to be unelected bureaucrats who end up deciding how these provisions are implemented with no accountability. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're going to spread money around so thin that we can't see where it all goes, and they're going to nickel and dime it into their pockets, or into the pockets of their alliance, I guess you could say. But again, here's Tulsi. This could have been our president. Okay? I voted for Trump. I did, all right? That's just the truth of the matter. I wasn't going to vote for Biden. If I was going to vote for somebody, I would have voted for somebody who at least had some sort of common sense and I felt was going to serve America, not eviscerate it. Hey, there she is. Looking all soldiery. This was, she was talking about Independence Day. She was promoted to lieutenant governor that day. But that's who our president could have been, Somebody who did not believe in an open door policy at the border, She calls it out. The main beneficiaries, gangs, cartels, and human traffickers. See, there's nothing racist about it. Those are the people who profit the most. That's the bottom line. But I guess if she has that opinion, I could see why maybe she's not the one that they chose for the ticket, because obviously they wanted to go far left. And how's that fucking working out? How's that working out? See, again, here she is talking about back in the Olympics, Shikari, talking about how it is kind of silly that marijuana is illegal and a banned substance and all of that. See, this is somebody I could get behind. When are we going to end the federal laws against marijuana? I mean, right now we have a Republican pushing a bill through. A Republican. That's how silly it's all become. Speaking of silly, again, this is why I don't see how Tulsi is a Democrat. I mean, the Democrats have a bunch of crazy ladies. Or, at even worse, media whores who will say anything to get in the media. Yeah, they're on both sides. I think Lauren Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think they pump up the volume to get some notoriety. But this is the batshit crazy stuff. Emptying federal prisons in 10 years. That's the kind of stuff that is not... Who does that help other than criminals? Who does that help? It's never going to happen, and she just says it to make some headlines. And then she gets the headlines for her stupidity. So we were talking a little bit about the Rittenhouse trial. A few more has-been celebrities want to pop up with their comments. This was my favorite. I mean, this is the winner, really. Maria Shriver here. I'm trying to take a beat to digest the Rittenhouse verdict. My son just asked me how it's possible that he didn't get charged for anything. How is that possible? I don't have an answer for him. Well, first of all, he was charged with things, you dingbat. But it was self-defense, you know? This response, though. Your youngest son is 26. Tell him to fucking Google it. Yeah. You want to lie about it? You want to try to turn it into something that it's not? Okay. Good luck, because it was self-defense. It's on video. You're really dying on an undefensible hill. In fact, you're not even on a hill. You're in a fucking valley. Okay? You don't even have the high ground. It's just stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know? The media is sitting there with their, you know, peaceful black protesters. Even after looking at the video. Even after seeing what happened. They still want to label it the way they want to label it. I don't get these people. Clever business owners ward off looters with Kyle Rittenhouse scarecrows. And, of course, Rage Against the Machine. Band I lost all faith in a long time ago. But, again, you know, they killed people who were fighting for racial justice. Really? Really? So that's what the riots and stuff were. Huh. Okay, you fucking morons. That's not what they were doing, okay? These people were there to loot. What, I mean, are all the smash and grab robberies going on in California right now? Is that some sort of social protest? I mean, come on, you know. At least be honest. They were not fighting for racial justice, okay? They were rioting. They were out for a big party, okay? And things took a really ugly turn. That's what happened. Don't try to make this into some sort of another hero story, okay? Don't sit here and, like, idolize these fucking crummy people. Speaking of has-beens here, which this guy was just disappear. Nate Woods, a black man, was executed for murder in Alabama because he was in the room. Yeah, that's a crime. If you break into somebody's house with another person and that person kills somebody, you're linked to it. It doesn't matter if you weren't there to kill people. If you participate in a liquor store robbery or a bank robbery and somebody gets killed, you're charged with murder. That's the way that the law works. And he says that's why Kyle Rittenhouse getting nothing stings. Really, it's completely different. Okay? Nate Woods was there in the commission of a crime. Okay? Rittenhouse was self-defense. You guys just race bait. It's almost like I'm just so tired of talking about it. Because it's just so obvious. And if people aren't going to see it, then I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do. You know, Kwame Brown, I believe he was a basketball player. I don't know. I gave up on basketball a long time ago. But, you know, he says Kyle acts in self-defense. As people are paid to push racist shit. And that's the way it is. The Democrats only have that. The other guy's a racist. That's all they have. I mean, we're seeing their playbook right now. They're not doing anything. The best they've done is just hand out checks. Yeah, again, you know. Yeah, you take the tragedy that happened in Wisconsin. You know, some fuckwad drives his car through a bunch of kids at a Christmas parade. And they're going to cover it up and they're going to spin it. Man, that's just gross. It's just abs. I don't even. It's just so stupid. This is what I was talking about last week. Lawsuits. I don't know what it is right now, man. You know? I don't know why we have to have these stupid arguments. I don't know why, you know, why we are allowing ourselves to be torn apart over such stupidity. You know? We allow, you know, we have a system right now that bans Donald Trump from social media, but Joe Biden can label somebody a killer while they're on trial. You know, Maxine Waters could go and scream about the Floyd verdict and incite people to violence. BLM leaders incite people to violence, saying, oh, if you put plainclothes officers back on New York streets, there's going to be riot. The list is endless of the shit that they get away with. And if you really think that our country is being served in a good way by this, you're wrong. Okay? Propaganda is one of those words that I associate with the old Soviet Union and dictatorships. Propaganda. It was a dirty word. And now they have no problem peddling that shit. And sadly, people have no problem buying into it. See? This is what we're talking about. You know, they want to sanctify Rosenbaum because he was shot by Kyle Rittenhouse. And he's a scumbag. They want to idolize and make statues of George Floyd. What happened to both of them is a tragedy, and I feel bad for their families, and I'm sure there's people who miss them. But as a country, who gives a shit? Who gives a crap? Neither one of those people were up to any good when they died. Biden's going to remove certain reporting requirements for sexual assaults committed by teachers because, you know, they're back in power now. Maxwell's on trial. Where's all the discussion about that? What is with the fact that it seems like Democrats are protecting pedophiles? I mean, the far left wants to change what we call them. They don't even want us calling them pedophiliac or pedophiles or whatever. What in the fuck? Who in the fuck benefits from that other than creepy people who want to do creepy things to little children? I don't get it. You're not protecting the borders. You want to remove reporting of, even alleged assaults from this database. You guys are just, I just don't get it. That's why I sound so down, because it's like, enough is enough. Enough is enough is enough. Little Chumbawamba for you there. I can't hear you because your mouth's full of shit. Yeah, I can't hear you because your mouth's full of shit. Yeah, do something about it. Okay, whatever. Getting off on a Chumba tangent there. 8 months into the pandemic, and Donald Trump still doesn't have a plan to get these virus under control. I do. Oh, shit. Looks like Biden crapped his pants again. All this fucking posturing and accusing Trump of not having a plan. And what's his fucking plan? Let us all get sick. Okay. Even while we're vaccinated. That's great. Raise your hand if you think that Elmo would do better than Joe Biden. There you go. Huh. Yeah. Anybody would. Guys, Lions hack. I mean, look, this one came out. I think this was from last week, but I just came across it this week. Doesn't cost $0. So that's, okay. It's not a lot of money. All right. We're not talking about, $1 trillion. We're talking about a third of $1 trillion right there, or something like that. I don't know. Fucking numbers, man. But he's lying. He's lying about shit that matters. And worst of all, he's lying about stuff that we, the American people, already know is a lie. So why are you buying it? You have to look at, if you voted for this guy, you have to look at the fact that you made a mistake and reassess, okay? I feel the same way a little bit about Trump. I don't regret voting for him because I wish we had him in other than Biden. But I look at, like, what was it? Was it Trump, the personality, or was it his style? What was it? You know, I assess. Did I make a mistake voting the first time around? I don't know, you know. I voted independent, so I don't really know about that. Biden announces he's been told he's running again in 2024. See, that's that moldable shit they want. You know? People like George Soros, that piece of crap. Sitting behind the scenes, you know, trying to reshape the world the way he wants it. How about you forget this Build Back Better thing and instead put it back the way you found it and leave me the hell alone? Oh, man. Isn't that the truth? So, one of the maligned people in the media nowadays, of course, is the Florida governor. You know, because, you know, he's taken on COVID. Nobody likes that. You know, oh, you got to just toe the party line. Oh, don't tell people to take off their masks. Oh, death, death, death. But, you know, he took action to help. I mean, it's not a whole, you know, a whole shit ton, but it's what he can do. You know, he got rid of Florida's tax on gasoline. Okay? So that's 26.5 cents. Like I said, it's not a lot. It's $1 every 4 gallons, you know? But it's something. It's the government saying, hey, you know what? In the middle of all of this shit, you know, the least we could do is not collect taxes on it. You know? At least he's trying something positive. Meanwhile, the idiots here in California have made crime such a lucrative enterprise. You know, our catch and release programs that we've got going on here. And we wonder why Apple and Nordstrom's got broken into. Yeah, and you know, you think, of course, like, you know, if you're like me, you get it. If you're not, if you're one of these lefties and you just stumbled upon this, well, hi. This is not about a big corporation's profits, okay? This is about public safety, all right? If these people go in at the wrong time, people are going to get hurt and may even die. All over some stupid fucking iPhones. San Francisco stores hold 100% off Black Friday sale. It's an old picture. But they are having to think about these policies. You know, when you defund the police, you send a clear message to criminals. Criminals don't need to be asked twice, man. You give them any loophole and they will exploit it. If you're going to catch and release, if you're going to try to figure out every single way to not charge them with the maximum, you know, think about this. These may be gangs, street gangs that are doing this, that are organizing this, and that are hitting these stores. And if they're not going to get charged for gang activity, wow, you know, that's a lot of time that's going to be shaved off of their sentence. They may do a couple months, and that's worth it. That's the cost of doing business for a criminal. You tell me I could live like job free for 2 years and I might have to spend 2 weeks in jail or 2 months in jail, and I've already been to jail several times. Remember, jail's only scary if you've never been there. Once you've survived it, you know, you kind of make that choice to go back again. CNN choked on its own bullshit. Yeah, at least as for me, they're dead to me. They're just propaganda. It's an ugly word, folks. Propaganda. Kamala Harris claims tanking poll numbers on the unvaccinated. Oh, man. Trump to the rescue. Trump travels back in time to kill more dinosaurs to meet our fossil fuel needs. The bee. No matter how strong the contenders come, the bee has no rival. What have Minnesota Democrats learned from Virginia? To triple down on critical race theory. But see, that's the depressing part about this, is the writing's on the wall. Like, these people can see exactly where their policy and their policy ideas get them. And yet, they still want to do it. They still want to plow ahead with stupid shit like critical race theory. It gets overwhelmingly rejected. I still see people trying to get Latinx across. And we have a whole host of people that are saying that, like, Kyle Rittenhouse should fry, and it's systemic racism that let him out. I mean, of course, there's still people who believe that OJ was innocent. Looking for that mandate on free cancer treatments because it saves lives. Yeah. See, these politicians own stock, or their people own stock in pharmaceutical companies, so they award all of this money to pharmaceutical companies for vaccines that seem to lessen the symptoms. Not a great vaccine. You can still catch it and you can still pass it, so not great, but good enough to throw a lot of cash at. Look at Moderna stocks. I'll post that right here. That's crazy shit, man. Okay, I mean, I'm all for getting vaccinated. I mean, my enthusiasm has waned a little bit, but they're making money, man. And if they make money, they'll do it. But free cancer, I guess they're not gonna worry about that because what, people don't die from it? I don't know. This one just cracked me up. Just sold my homing pigeon on eBay for the 22nd time. Yeah, I pulled a sneaky on you. I just had to include that. I'm Howard Cosell, and I just looked into the future, and you're not going to believe the shit I'm about to tell you. That was my Howard Cosell. Hello, I'm Howard Cosell. Yeah, whatever. I just still love two of those people. Oh, man. Oh, wow. That is an odd one. So we're going to close with this because it's getting late. Good versus evil, not race versus race. Right versus left, man versus woman, jab versus unjabbed. Don't let them divide and conquer you with their manufactured social causes. It has always been and always will be good versus evil. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to break it down to good and bad, good versus evil. You know, I hope that I'm one of the good ones. And I hope someday a lot of people get to hear my message. Or at least figure it out for themselves and move to the middle, because right or left, man, we are getting screwed. We are getting screwed. And I think the last year or so has proven to us that there is an elite group running this country in their own best interests, and they don't give a fuck about us. And if we don't do something about it, if we don't take the power back, then we're going to lose it for good. The only way I see to take the power back is to leave the two monolithic groups, the Republicans and the Democrats, and meet in the middle, man, and fight the power from the middle. Claw our way to the high ground and just take back what's rightfully ours. What our founding fathers said was our power. Our power. We're being led by media and elites. And it's time for it to stop. Copious out.